Hi, I'm here in the Cornell Cooperative Extension garden at Genesee County. Thought we'd do a little tour today of the garden that you walk through when you come to our building. So at this end, we have a lovely patch of lavender. Now this is a hot, dry area. As you can see, we're by the sidewalk and actually the road. So in the winter, it is prone to salt and slush. This garden faces south, and if it wasn't for our 4 crabapple trees, it would be a pretty hot, dry spot. The crabapples give us a fair amount of shade, and they look beautiful in the spring when they're in bloom. So we have a nice big 9 bark on the end. We put the 9 bark down here to help with the wind. In the winter, it's almost like this is a wind tunnel as it comes across the parking lot and comes into the garden. This bed has a mixture of shrubs and perennials in it. So we have a globe Arborvitae, and this is a little hydrangea. This is Tough Stuff. More lavender. Weigela. Japanese forest grass. That is a native goldenrod. One of the clumpers, not a spreader. In the back, we have a hedge of green tower boxwood. When we were looking for something to use as the background in this garden, we had to take into consideration the salt spray, the dry soil, and we wanted something that was evergreen, so we had some bones in the garden that had some color in the winter. And boxwood fortunately fills those requirements, and it's done fairly well back here. This is sage bergotten, and then this is a hardy cranesbill geranium, dark whiter. We've got some sedums along the front acting as a ground cover. This lavender, which is doing quite well. This is a Siberian weeping pea shrub. All right, so you can see this is grafted, and you can see we need to cut these suckers off. That's what the parent plant material would look like. So we need to cut that off, or it's going to take over and we won't have this beautiful cascade effect. It's daylily time, so we have some daylilies in bloom. A stray moon carrot. This is a biennial. We put in the garden one year, and we occasionally still have seeds that pop up. Kind of an interesting plant. Our urns didn't get planted this year because of COVID. We weren't here in the office in April and May. And we've got some more sedum that will bloom. We have some fern leaf peonies. Looks like this could use some more sun. They bloom in the spring. Oh, a lovely daylily, a double. This end of the bed has quite a few shrubs. This is the gold thread. Our Limelight Hydrangea, which when we put that in there, that was our plan, was to have that fill that corner. It actually hides the water access back there. And then this has got to be my favorite plant in the whole garden. This is an oak leaf hydrangea, and the flower is double. And I believe the variety is Snowflake, but I could be wrong. We'll have to put it in the notes if I am. But yeah, I just love this oak leaf. Oak leaf hydrangeas are native to the United States, but more to the southeast. But it is hardy in this zone. Batavia is actually zone 5. Just give you a back view. We do have a nice brick walk through our garden. And we have a few things in the corner here. Some lady's mantle. Another beautiful double daylily. Oh, there's some bloodroot down here. I thought there was some hiding under the oak leaf. Oh, back in there under the limelight. And of course, in shade, you've got to have a hosta. Now, this was also a problem corner. We were tried to get some kind of shrub to grow in here, and nothing did well. So we commissioned this beautiful piece of garden art that one of our master gardeners created and built and installed in the garden. So sometimes you can't get a plant to grow, go with something truly magnificent like this. All right. Now, originally, the gardens gardens change over time. So there's 3 formal beds in here, but the plantings are not necessarily formal. So on this side is a very happy Aurelia. This is Sun King. And it's just huge this year, which to me is amazing because we had some hot and dry weather, and they don't usually like that kind of weather. But apparently it's happy under our crabapple. Some small bearded iris, lady's mantle, black-eyed Susans, wild common milkweed. This bed's a bit wild. Black-eyed Susan just starting to bloom. Some years we lose our black-eyed Susans to the neighbor's woodchuck. He really likes black-eyed Susan. Our butterfly plants have not started to bloom yet. And then this is interesting. This is gooseneck loosestrife. It's not related to the invasive loosestrife, which you find in swamps, but it can be quite aggressive in a garden setting. So we want it to fill in this end, and that's exactly what it's doing. We have a tree peony here. It has a dark, black, almost black flower in the spring. And then the hedge that separates us from the parking lot is alpine currant. And it does need pruning every spring. Again, it's a bit wild this year because due to COVID, we weren't here to prune it. And we don't really want to prune it now. We're afraid that with the heat, it would not be good for it. So the last bed is a mixture of shade plants, because this does get a little bit more shade. We've got some Brunnera, which blooms in the spring. Mixture of sedums, which you wouldn't think of in the shade, but it gets enough light. Christmas fern, a Japanese fern. This is a little native plant, twin leaf. And then pulmonaria, or lungwort. Again, spring bloomers. Palace purple coral bells. We've got some black-eyed Susans that decided this was a good place to grow. And this ground cover has really taken over. This is a white Erebus. It looks like we've got some sedum in the back. when the Erebus is in bloom, the pollinators absolutely love it. A smaller butterfly bush, more bearded iris, another fern leaf peony. This is our dwarf hemlock, and it's supposed to look silvery. It is a variegated form. Of course, after we planted it, that's when we became aware of the hemlock woolly adelgid, so we do keep an eye on it. We don't want it to get infected. Oh, we've got some very happy Japanese anemone. This is the white one, single white. It's beautiful. It blooms like in September frame, so it gives us some fall color. The lady's mantle is quite happy over here. There is a hellebore down in there that is a yellow blooming one that blooms in the spring. And the fence goes around, wraps around the ramp. And then this edge is Anthony Waterer spirea, which is finished blooming. And again, some more forest grass that is quite happy here. A bugbane that is not happy. It probably would like more moisture. I think the crab apples take up quite a bit of water. And I forgot to mention this one, and that's partly because I don't remember what it's called. It looks okay. It is related to our smartweeds, and I'll remember it afterwards, so we'll have to post it in the notes. But this actually has been on the ground for quite a few years and has not done that much. This is really the first year we've gotten many flowers on it. So this garden could use a little editing. Some of those anemones could come out, some of the lady's mantle, but it is definitely a full bed. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this quick tour of the garden at the CCE office. It's open to the public when the building's open, so if you're in Batavia, come on down and give us a visit. Have a good day.